Hey, yo, what up? And this is Worst to Least Worst presented by Hoops FYI. And today we're going to do a mid-season review of each team, division by division, going over records, stats, and how each team ranks within their division and the league statistically. In today's review, we're going to take a look at the Southeast Division. But before we jump into the review, make sure you bless the page by clicking the subscribe button, pull up a seat, grab a drink, a snack. Join us on our other media outlets, TikTok, Instagram, and become a member at hoops.fyi. And be sure to get in the comment section to voice your thoughts. With that out of the way, let's do a quick review of the Southeast Division. The 5 teams in the division combined for 106 wins and 167 losses for a win percentage of .388 or 38.8%. That's worst among the Eastern Conference division, and that's worst among all divisions in the league. That's for wins, losses, and win percentage. The teams in the division consist of the Hawks, Hornets, Heat, Magic, Orlando Magic, and the Wizards, formerly known as the Washington Bullets. That's if you didn't know who the teams were. Now, out of those teams, 3 of those teams are in the playoff hunt, but all of those teams right now or at midseason were in the play-in game position. That's 7 through 10. The Southeast Division holds the team with the longest current losing streak heading into the break, and we'll get into that when we get into the team reviews. 4 of the 5 worst offensively rated teams in the conference come from this division. The 2 teams with the worst defensive rating in the conference also come from this division. But on the flip side, 2 of the highest rated defensive teams in the conference come from this division. And now that we got the specifics of the division out of the way, let's get into the team reviews. The first team we have, the number 5 team in the division, are the Washington Wizards. The Wizards entered the break with a record of 9 wins and 45 losses with a win percentage of 16.7%. That puts them at second to last, or number 14 in the Eastern Conference. And they head into the break on an 8-game losing streak, which is the current longest losing streak in the league. On the offensive side, they have an offensive rating of 111, which puts them 4th in the division. They are scoring 114.78 points a game, which places them 2nd in the division, and they are bottom 5 in the league in 3-point percentage at 35.1%. They're number 27 in the league in that category. They are last in the division and bottom 5 in the league, or number 27 in the league, in offensive rebounds with 9.22 offensive rebounds per game. They are 1st in the division in field goal percentage, or 17 in the league at 47.4%. And they are 1st in the division and 9th in the league in assists per game at 28.11. On the defensive side, they have a defensive rating of 119.5, which puts them at number 3 in the division. The defensive points, or opposition points, or points against per game, they are 4th in the division and 29th in the league at 123.87, or with 123.87. They are number 27 in the league in field goal percentage against at 49.7. They are last in the division and number 29 in the league in rebounds per game at 40.74. And they are 27 in the league in defensive rebounds at 31.52. On a good side of things, on a good note of things, they are 1st in the division in blocks and number 11 in the league at 5.43 blocks per game. Coming in at number 4, the 4th best team, we have the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets come into the midseason break with a record of 13-41 with a win percentage of 24.1%. That places them 3rd to last, or number 13 in the Eastern Conference. However, on a good note, they head into the midseason break fresh off of a trade and also a 3-game winning streak. So they're going to come out of this break hopefully on a high note, and who knows, maybe they could turn that 3 into 5 and maybe 10. I know it won't happen, but hey, who knows? You never know what's going to happen. On the offensive side, they come in last in the division in offensive rating with 109.5. And they also come last in the division in points per game at 108.65. They're also number 28 in the league in points per game also. They're also last in the division in field goal percentage and number 26 in the league in that same category at 46.1 field goal percentage. And they are last in the division and number 26 in the league in assists at 24.87 assists per game. On the defensive side, they have a defensive rating of 120.3, which is last in the division. The points against, they are actually third in the division with 119.39, so they're not last. They are bottom 5 in the league, or number 28 in field goal percentage against, with 50.1%. They're letting opponents shoot 50.1% from the field. And then they're also last in the division and second to last in the league at number 29 in 3 points against, with 39.1%. They are also bottom 5 in the league, or number 27 in rebounds, with 41.5 rebounds per game. Last in the division in defensive rebounds, number 28 in the league at 31.04 defensive rebounds, and also the same for steals per game. Last in the division, number 28 in the league at 6.52 steals per game. And at number 3, we have the Atlanta Hawks. So the Atlanta Hawks, they head into the break with a record of 24-31 with a win percentage of 43.6%, placing them 10th in the Eastern Conference. Currently, they are in the play-in game, but they head into the midseason break on a 2-game losing streak. On the offensive side, they are ranked first within the division in offensive rating at 117.6. They are first in the division in points per game and number 3 in the league with 121.33 points per game. They are also first in the division in offensive rebounds and number 1 in the league at 13.02 offensive rebounds per game. And they are also first in the division in rebounds at 44.91. And they're also number 7 in the league in that same category. On the defensive side, they have a defensive rating of 120, which ranks them at number 4 in the division. Points per game, they are last in the division and they are last in the league at 123.89 points that they're giving away per game. They are also last in the division and second to last in the league in field goal percentage given away at 50.2. And they are bottom 5 in the league, or number 27 in 3-point percentage, defensive 3-point percentage at 38.7%. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the Orlando Magic. Now, the Orlando Magic have a winning record. They're actually 30-25 with a win percentage of 54.5%, which places them number 8 in the Eastern Conference. Under the old rules, they would be in position to have a secure playoff spot, but with the new rules, they'll be in a play-in game. So they are the second team of 3 that's in the playoff game in this division. On the offensive side, they have an offensive ranking of 113. That's third in the division. Points per game, they are third in the division and bottom 5 in the league at number 26 with 111.73 points per game, 111.73 points per game. They are last in the division in 3 points percentage and second to last in that same category at 34.8 from the 3 line. And they are last in the division in fewest turnovers and number 23 in the league at 13.82 turnovers. On the defensive side, they have a defensive rating of 112, which is first in the division. They are giving up 110.85 points a game, which is second. They are top in the league at number 4 and first in the division in steals with an average of 8.11. And they are first in the division in 3 points against and number 8 in the league with 35.6% defensive 3-point percentage. And now the number 1 team in the division are the Miami Heat. Now the Heat come in with the same record as the Orlando Magic at 30-25. However, they own the tiebreaker between those 2 teams. They are the number 7 spot in the play-in game, the Orlando Magic being number 8. both of those teams sort of have a slight advantage if they can hold this position or even improve this position. But if they hold it at the least, they have a slight advantage heading into that play-in tournament. And on the offensive end, they have an offensive rating of 113.3, which is second within the division. They average 110.58 points a game, which is fourth in the division and 27th in the league. They are first in the division in three-point percentage and number 11 in the league at 37.2%. They are first in the division and number 9 in the league in fewest turnovers at 12.2 turnovers per game. And on the defensive side, they have a defensive rating of 113, which is second in the division. They are first in the division and fourth in the league with 110.38 points per game. They are first in the division in field goal percentage against and number 18 in the league in that stat category at 47.4% field goal. So they're giving up a field goal percentage of 47.4%. They are first in the division and number 17 in the league in defensive rebounds at 32.6 defensive rebounds per game. However, they are last in the division and the league in blocks average at 3.15. All right, that's it. Thank you for listening to this episode of Worst to Least Worst presented by Hoops FYI. Hopefully the Southeast can get back to the times when, when the Hawks had Josh Smith and Joe Johnson and those guys. Orlando had Dwight and them. The Heat had D Wade before the Heatos, before LeBron and them came over. And even Charlotte, the Hornets or the Bobcats or the Hornets, they were the Bobcats at the time. Even the Hornets, even the Hornets or Charlotte, who were once the Bobcats, even they had a little something going on when they had Steven Jackson, Gerald Wallace, and I can't remember everybody on that team, but hopefully the Southeast can get back to the times where it was they were a little bit more competitive within the landscape of the league. But anyway, before we get up out of here, remember to hit the subscribe button, like, voice your opinion in the comment section, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And subscribe to the community at hoops.fyi. Until next time, peace.